Hello, my friends. Welcome to Bette Davis Eyes, the series where I attempt to watch and review every single Bette Davis film she ever made on my way to becoming the most prolific reviewer of all time because I think that Bette Davis is one of the best actresses ever. And I think that she is able to span multiple generations. She was able to span multiple generations in Hollywood, different eras, and retain a really honesty and sincerity to her performances. And she was always doing something really unique in her films. And I think that this is a perfect example of this. I got recommended this movie by one of the viewers, so thank you. If you want to make a recommendation for a movie that I should watch, put it in the comments. And the movie I'm going to be reviewing is Scream Pretty Peggy. So, oddly, this is a movie from 1973, and it was a made for television movie. And I think the name of the series was um, the ABC suspense movie. I thought that there was like Playhouse or something. So anyway, ABC suspense movie. This is a movie of the week, basically. Um, and in many ways, you can't really tell. Honestly, it just feels like a normal movie from the 70s, even though it's got some pretty wild stuff in it. So maybe I'll tell you the plot and I'll tell you like my feelings about it. So the film revolves first around this character named Peggy, and she's like this bright and kind of precocious, sort of like independent girl in the 1970s. She goes to university to art school and she wants to be a great sculptor, and she's really inspired by this one particular sculptor, so much so that she hears that there's a job opening at his place. So she goes to the campus job office and she's like, "Hey, tell me if that job's still open." And they're basically like, "Yeah." And then she kind of runs away because she knows exactly where this place is. And basically, this character, who is played by Cian Barbara Allen, who was a very prominent television actress in the 1970s, before retiring to raise a family. So this character comes off so enthusiastic that I was expecting the big twist of the movie to be like she was actually the killer and she's gaslighting all of what's happened, what I'm gonna tell you in a moment. But unfortunately, that doesn't turn out to be the case. But that character is so odd and so enthusiastic and very, very creepy that oh, it just gives you the ick. That character gives me the ick. But anyway, and the actress does a good job and she's nice and she's sweet, but like some of the things that she says are completely out there. Anyway, so she goes to this mansion and she gets interviewed by this sculptor who she really admires. And so first of all, they have this great moment between the sculptor's mom, played by Bette Davis, and her. And she's basically like, "No, we don't have a job. Go away. There's no job here." And the girl is like, "There's a job. There is a job. There's a job." Betty, no. Seeing yes. Betty, no. Seeing yes. And so they have like this back and forth. And eventually, Jeremy, I think the sculptor's name, he comes and he's like, "Yes, yes, there is a job." And Jeremy seems very reasonable, and his mom seems like this alcoholic who is a bit out of touch. And so she starts to try to like ingratiate herself into this family. she, talks to him a lot. She kind of obsessively follows him around. And he's making like these big, red, ugly sculptures of things. And um, eventually, what happens is that his mom has a fall and she breaks her leg. And it's like a really great scene because it's like Betty Davis is playing this really old lady, and she just lies there and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I've broken my leg." And then um Cian, I forgot what her character's name is. She is tasked with like she convinces Jeremy to let her move in. So she moves into the room down the hall. But uh let's back up a little bit. A few months before this, living in that room was another girl who has disappeared. And because she's disappeared, her father has been looking for her. And her father comes in the middle of the night because basically Jeremy says, "Don't look in that room. Don't go look in that room." And like there's like a little garage and there's a room and it's off limits for visitors and it's also off limits to the maid. Yeah, I forgot, like this art student is working as a maid and that's the job that she was hired for. And she's like, "If you don't trust me, don't treat me like a child. I know that it's your mistress in there." And Jeremy says it's not his mistress, it's actually his sister. And Jeremy says that his sister has gone crazy and they tried to get some help for her, but it didn't really work out. So, anyway, the father of the missing girl comes back and he gets murdered. He gets murdered by somebody in a dress and with blonde hair. And we see a picture of Jeremy's sister as this blonde with, beautiful blonde with hair. So it kind of looks like it could be Jeremy's sister, but you might be able to tell by the tone of my voice that it's not Jeremy's sister. Um, anyway, so things progress, and the maid, gets more and more suspicious, and Jeremy's mom, Betty Davis's character, is like, "You need to leave. You need to go. You need to get out of here. I don't know how I can say this any more clearly. Run away. Go. Get away." And then she's like, "No, no, 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 but I love Jeremy." So basically, she is there because she's falling in love with Jeremy. And Jeremy wants her around because, yeah, she's cute and she's enthusiastic and she brings him cake. Who can say no to cake? But eventually she discovers that in the garage is this guy's car. And she confronts Jeremy and she says, "Why is this guy's car in your garage?" And also, she has found his glasses, and his glasses had the name of the father on it, which is really wild. So she calls the hotel where the father was staying, and they say that he's been missing for a few days. So mystery upon mystery. And so the climax of the movie is basically this scene where she's freaking out and she's like, "We need to call the cops. Jennifer," that's the sister, "Jennifer has done something bad. We need to call the cops. We need like some explanation as to what's going on. This can't happen anymore." And there's a scene with Betty Davis's character where she's basically like, "Yeah, like Jennifer, yes, Jennifer, yes, she did it. You should call the cops." And basically, what she's saying is like, "It's not Jennifer. You need to read between the lines. I am straight. I'm not telling you directly, but I am severely hinting that the person killing people is not Jennifer. It's my son, Jeremy." And she doesn't get it at all. Because she has the intelligence of lukewarm oatmeal, I guess, because she is a weird stalker person and she's just got in this weird situation through stalking, basically, because she is obsessed with Jeremy as being a sculptor. So basically, she goes to talk to Jennifer, and Jennifer, like, kind of like serial killer, kind of like comes out with a knife. And we see that it's so, oh yeah, so that happened before. I got the plot a little bit mixed up. So that happened before, and then Betty and her have this conversation, and then she goes to find Jeremy, and Betty's like, "Don't find Jeremy, don't find Jeremy, you don't want to find Jeremy." So she finds Jeremy, and Jeremy has badly applied makeup and is wearing a wig, and he is like, "Ah!" and he comes after her, and Betty shoots him because there was like a Chekhov's gun moment earlier, like how it's such a dangerous place and you need protection, Betty tells her. So she shoots him, and then the maid character is very, very, shocked by what happened. And Betty's character just describes that Jeremy was madly in love with his sister, and his sister was going to leave him to get married, and he couldn't handle being apart from his sister, so he killed her. And then that caused his brain to split and him to become the personality of Jennifer, and that the personality of Jennifer was very, very jealous, and when anybody got close to him, this personality would murder them, which is what happened to the missing girl from before, and was about to happen to Cian's character. Yeah, and that's the movie. Basically, it ends on a close-up of Bette Davis. Yeah, so it's not a good movie, but it's certainly an enjoyable movie. It's like a weird. Oh yeah, and I forgot one key detail. So all of these red sculptures that Jeremy is making, he's put bodies in. So Jennifer's in one of them, and the father of another of the missing girl is in one, and presumably the missing girl is in another one. And Betty's character is basically like, "Oh, forgive me. I really needed Jeremy. I'm like an old lady. I can't be left alone. I'm an alcoholic. Like, you gotta forgive me. You gotta understand why I did this." So basically, the villain doesn't end up being Cian's character, the obsessive stalker, and it doesn't actually end up being Jeremy. It becomes the mother who enables him because she needs him, because she's codependent on him. So, yeah, really, really wild. And there's this moment where, like, is it a good Bette Davis performance? I think it is. Is it like the best one? No, but you can really tell that she elevates the whole performance of these random television actors. Because there's this moment where the script is like, I forgot what the line is, but Cian's characters, like, they're arguing, she's arguing with Bette Davis's character, and she says something like, "That's dumb." Like, to an older lady. Like my son and I, we were watching this, and my son was like kind of paying attention, but not really. And then he was paying attention for that moment. And he was like, "Wow, did she just say to that older lady that she's dumb?" And I'm like, "Yeah, would you ever say to somebody that old that they were dumb?" And he's like, "No, no, I wouldn't." I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't either. That's kind of like ridiculous. But Bette Davis's reaction is just so classic. She does like a little eyebrow thing, like, "Did you just say that I'm dumb?" And shuts the other character down completely, like, without doing very, very much. So if you're looking for little great Bette Davis moments, you'll find them in this movie. Will you find a good movie? No, but it will be an enjoyable movie. So Scream Pretty Peggy, I'm going to say 6 out of 10. What do you think if you've seen this movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm trying to get to 40 subscribers by the end of July on my quest to becoming the most prolific reviewer of all time. I think we can do it. If you like what I do, please like the videos, please subscribe, please leave recommendations like Scream Pretty Peggy. I really enjoyed the movie. Thanks for the recommendation. All right. Thank you. Bye bye.